Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Wednesday, the 27th of January, comes to you from London. And I see a mixed picture on the screen, a bit of red and green. So, starting by looking at the dollar, we're seeing a bit of recovery here, but the long-term and medium-term trends are still down. This is my weekly long-term, my daily medium-term, and my 60-minute short-term chart with the corresponding point and figure targets. So, we've got a complete view of the market. So, the dollar is still bearish, medium and long term, but actually just looking a little bit better on that short-term chart. That means the euro is sitting at 121.22, just struggling against that stronger dollar, and we're seeing a little bit of a turnaround, but the long-term picture is one still of the consolidation and then the jump with further to run probably. Sterling is sitting at 137.34, so that's looking stronger this morning against that stronger dollar. So that's showing real sterling strength, and we're seeing that really popping through on the euro. So this is really significant. Sterling making multi-month highs and just starting to break, so that's really significant. We're seeing some quite big moves there, so that's a key moment for sterling really. Taking a look at Bitcoin, we are sitting at $31,000, down nearly 4%. We are short-term bearish. We have activated these downside targets. We've got short-term targets below $30,000, so it looks like that's where we'll go on Bitcoin. The S&P 500 index last night was down slightly, but it's still holding bullish on all three time frames with good upside targets, and the Nasdaq similarly strong. So that's quite key as well. Some good results out from the tech giants, which we'll take a look at in a minute. The Dow up 0.7%, so that's looking strong as well. The future is down on the S&P, but up on the Nasdaq. So we are seeing some rotation back to growth stocks. So we are seeing the defensives maybe just giving up a little bit of ground, and it's now coming back, especially to tech. The VIX volatility is up this morning, reflecting maybe that broader market move. And if we look at the FTSE future, down slightly in the UK, and the DAX in Germany also down slightly, but still just holding these breaks to new highs. The trend starting to look a little bit less good on the short-term chart. The CAC Courant actually up this morning, but also in a clear short-term downtrend. Japan was up 0.2%, so we're looking stronger there, and the Hang Seng index was down 0.3% as well. Looking at the Shanghai market, we saw a slight improvement there, and the Sensex, as I say, was down 0.2%. So we're seeing quite a fall back into short-term bearish there, and the Aussie market gave up 0.2% as well. Taking a look at gold, we're down just under 0.33%, so we are seeing short-term bearishness creeping back in, that medium-term trend still being hit. So gold is just still falling away. We are seeing the long-term trend still very much intact. Silver down 0.5%, also in short-term bearish territory. And if we look at US 10-year yields, sitting at 104, so that fall that we saw on Monday, we've just hit the floor there and stayed there, so hitting long-term resistance. Taking a look at the tech majors, Apple sitting at 143, so holding on to its new highs. Amazon so sitting at $3,300, again just not quite yet breaking out. The big move was Microsoft breaking to new highs and up about 4% in the aftermarket, so we should see Microsoft go higher on very strong results today. Taking a quick look at the energy mix now, we've got Brent crude stuck in that range still. 56.50 is really the level that we need to break, so we're range bound this week. We were neutral crude, and that's pretty much where we've been. We're seeing on WTI a similar picture, of course. US nat gas looking better, aiming for the targets that were set 272, 276. So we have seen a resurgence there. We were bearish last week, and this week we were neutral on the basis that we'd fallen a long way. So that's worked out. Looking at the emissions chart, we are just falling back here. We have got downside targets not quite yet activated, but we are pulling back towards this low 30s level. Gas markets falling further this morning. MVP down, breaking to 2-week lows, so that is significant. We are in a short-term bearish move there, and if we look at TTF, much the same. We are breaking lower here, so we're just holding on to the low that we saw last week, so not looking quite as bad. And of course winter gas also down 1%, but holding on to the lows, so looking a bit stronger there, but we do have downside targets. German power down 1% this morning, sitting at 49.10, just struggling to break and turning short-term bearish with downside targets, so that's one to watch. And if we have a quick look at Nordic power, we're actually up on Nordic power both on the cal and the quarterly, so that's looking a little bit better. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.